What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. What a crazy way to start off the week on a Monday. Obviously, there's some geopolitical tensions going on around the world between US and Iran, also Israel. 7 a.m., I think it was, Trump comes in and tweets about how there's some sort of deal being worked with Iran, which caused a crazy spike on the overnight session. ES was like over 100 points, while NQ was like over 1,000. And then Iran comes back a little bit later saying there's nothing really on the table. So really disregarding all that and just kind of looking at the auction market theory balances and the balances itself and just looking at the strategy, we do have a reclaim back above the 6630 balance where price on the ETH closed within. The idea is we can't just be bullish because of this crazy spike. Obviously, there's going to be a chance where the sellers can appear, and those areas on my pre-market plan were at 6680, which is the balance high. We could see this high volume area where sellers can potentially defend, and also the 6700 area right around here where obviously that's a psychological number and where the ETH balance volume sort of drops off. So those were my two areas for the sell side, for where bears can appear. On the flip side, what I wanted to see was for the bulls to see if they find some support around 6630 where this balance volume drops off to the downside. If price comes to test that area, I want to see bulls basically react and appear there on the order flow, and then just gauge price and gauge price action to see if we could start moving back to the upside. Now that has to occur prior to 6680 and 6700 testing. I'd rather see a move down first to 6830 and then we move back up to 6680 and then 6700 where the bearish plan can potentially take effect. So we're looking at the price. We'll look at the price action here, and you'll see that price didn't exactly get to 6630. It missed it by a couple points. Therefore, for the bullish side, there was no trade for me on the long side. But on the flip side, I did take the bearish setup at the rejection from 6700. All right, so looking at the price action here, we could see right in the morning, we didn't get that push that I wanted to 6630, where I was looking for some longs. Unfortunately, we missed it by 10 points, so no trade to the long side there. Right in the morning, we started creating higher highs and higher lows, and today was very important to be patient because obviously it was a very unusual day with the crazy spike on the overnight. Once we got above 6880, I was basically going to look to see if buyers are going to be able to continue to hold above that 6680 balance area, which we did around 1040. But there was really no order flow confirmation for me to take a trade there, so I basically skipped it. Now, the bearish plan that I was looking for above 6700 basically started coming into effect once I saw buyers getting trapped at the highs on the order flow. Once I took that, it's a little easier to see on the order flow, but once I saw that, I decided it would be a nice short to target the 6680 area. You could see also there was some absorption here based on the navy blue bars. The reward for the trade was actually very high and the risk was very small, so that's a perfect trade in my book. But you'll see on the order flow more visually how the buyers got trapped up there, and which was basically my confirmation to get short. So I essentially did catch the top, which is kind of crazy, and if I did hold it, I would have got a crazy amount of points, but my target was 6680 and I stuck to it. I didn't have any more information to allow me to catch the entire move. 6680, 20 points is not bad. So let's take a look at the order flow. I can show you guys a confirmation and exactly what the trigger was for this trade. So looking at the order flow here, I added some notes here just so it's visually easier to see what my thought process was at the time. You could see how there's some strong buying up at these highs: 275, 72, 66, 115, 97, 79, and then 198 and 106 right at these highs. That in itself is a lot of buying, right? So if we can't move price with all that buying, what does that mean, right? We have somebody on the opposite side basically absorbing all that buy pressure. Okay, so the other trigger was basically the aggressive sellers that are coming into the market. This negative 140 delta and this negative 77. Those are my, I would say, number one triggers to really get in, right? Because when I see aggressive sellers stepping in, I want to follow them. I want to be with them, right? So seeing that, I wanted to enter near 6703. I eventually entered at 6701 due to being a little bit more patient. I also sized down, so my stop was a little bit wider. But I entered at 6701, and those were basically my confirmations to get short, right? This candle right here, we did almost make new highs. We could see the strong delta at the highs basically failing. At that moment, I knew that was where I needed to look for that short side to come in, right? So that's where I took my entry right after this failed buying around 11:10. Once we broke back under, that was my trigger to the short side. So I took my entry at 6701 with a stop of 6705-ish, and then just targeted 6680. So we have a combination of two things that made the trade of an A-plus setup in my eyes. We had positive delta buyers getting trapped at the highs, and then we had negative delta showing that sellers are interested in shorting the market, right? So with those two things, it can cause a big move to the downside, especially if there's a lot of volume that's trapped at the highs, because what do buyers have to do when price is going down? They have to get out of their positions, right? So what does that do? It increases the force to the downside because they have to sell, right? So that's going to cause a big move to the downside. And we could see that today I basically caught the top, and the rejection here at these highs trapped everybody up there thinking that we're going to go higher. Instead, we go lower, right? So all those guys up here that got trapped, they ended up stopping out, causing the market to go lower. We made new lows here at 12:30, and after market close, we're trading right near it. So a really good trade. It basically caught the top, but those are the two things that I look for in the order flow. It makes the trade. Those are my confirmations. Without that, I don't take any trades. On the flip side, what I like to see is sellers getting trapped and buyers aggressively stepping in to defend price. So that's on a bullish scenario. But so those are the two things you need to look for. It makes the trade a little bit more concrete. Obviously, everything's not going to be 100%, but it gives you a higher probability of that trade working out. So you can't see this on a candlestick chart. Order flow really gives you precise entries and lets you know when to sell, when to get in or when to get out, which makes it a really good tool. So let's take a look at TradeZella. I'm going to show you guys my executions and my P&L. All right, so $300 on a day, just one trade, made 20 points, basically caught the tippity top, and executed really well today. Followed the plan as you should always, and just really good trade on an uncertain day, right? So if you guys have any comments or questions, let me know down below, and hopefully I will catch you in the next video. Peace.